G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and welcome back to another episode of Happy Flying, where we show some flight footage, talk about some tips and tricks to help you become a better FPV pilot. And today, a very big special treat. I've actually got some onboard footage with Thomas Bitmarta, so he let me put my GoPro on his drones. I caught up with him a little while ago to check out his impressions of the Fat Shark HDOs. We're flying around this really little tight technical track, and there's definitely, after watching this flight footage back and having some discussions with him, definitely some things that he is doing that separates the pro pilot to sort of the weekend pilot that you see out there. Now, probably the first thing I should say too is, look, this is also why he was talking. So I was filming him as he was actually flying around. So he's talking about the Fat Shark HDOs, and he was still able to rip around this course very, very quick. He was getting like 6 seconds or something like that versus mine. Mine were like 12 seconds around here. I was absolutely useless, and it definitely put me to shame. So it was a lot of fun flying with him. But let's get on with the two tips. You can see I'm filming there in the background, but two tips that we sort of discovered after watching his flight footage back. And the first one is probably just how smooth he is. So when he's flying around, he is very often, you know, it might not be the fastest in a straight line speed, but where he sort of gets around and makes up his ground, I feel he's never really offline. He's always pointing in the right direction, and if he does get off a little bit, he recovers very, very quickly. So it might sound pretty simple, but a lot of the times when I was flying around, I was trying to go really, really fast and punch through these corners, and I was drifting out a lot. And when I watch Tom's footage back, you can just see he is on point all the time. So he might not be smashing the throttle unless it's safe, but that's probably a really big tip I noticed, and it just cut down his lap times, is how smooth he was when he's gone through the turns, through the tracks. And you can see when he is in line, he just smashes the throttle, and that's where he makes up so much ground. You know, those over and unders and those little whips through the gate, I was blown away watching this flight footage back, and it was crazy. It's even more impressive if you're watching this thing at line of sight. It was absolutely insane. So that's the first tip, you know, how that's not too groundbreaking. Just be smooth and it should help you through the turns. When it comes to racing, that's definitely something that a lot of people know about. But then the second thing, and this was after they came through some discussions with him and with his dad, and they do a lot of flying, I guess, and maybe some training to be the best pilot in the world, but a skill that came up that it's not actually related on the flying field so much on the sticks is how quickly can your brain adapt to the courses. And I think that is something that no one really talks about. So how often have you been out flying, you've had a little track, you've set up for the day, you're flying around, and this happens to me when I'm flying, your first laps of the day look absolutely terrible, and when you've got the track laid down, you are so much quicker the second time round. And how many times have you been out and that's happened? And I think that is a massive skill that I don't know if too many people are training. Like, if you're serious about getting on the podium, how often do you go out, set a track up, and then change it, just so you can get the ability of adapting to a track as quick as you can? Because look, when it comes to those races, you only get X amount of practice runs, and whoever can, I guess, accelerate their learning the fastest on the track, as well as accelerate their drone around it, they're going to come out with a massive advantage. Because if you think about it, say you've got 10 packs for the day, you want to get those points, you want to get first. The quicker you can get up to top speed around the track and learn it as fast as you can, the faster times you're going to have. It's going to put you in a better position overall. And I think it probably is also intimidating. It might be a bit of a psychological game to some other pilots out there and think, gee, that person is ripping it straight from the get-go. Maybe it will get in their heads a little bit. And there's definitely a massive part of psychology in the races. So look, that was a little tip. I know it's a very, very short video today, but that was a little tip. If you are really serious about racing and it's all about getting on the podium, it's not also just about on the sticks and learning how to corner and that sort of stuff. Have a think, how fast can you adapt? Can you train your brain any quicker to learn to get around some tracks, and are you getting some advantages with, I guess, a quicker learning ability? Anyway, that was it for today's Happy Flying episode. You know, being smooth, but then the tip no one talks about, how fast can your brain learn? Definitely put your comments down below. What do you think about it? Definitely subscribe for more FPV related content, and I'm just going to leave with some bonus footage of Calvin rambling about these trees. Anyway, happy flying.
A bit tight today, for sure.
You like it? Not like it? What do you reckon?
I'll tell you after I fly it.
Okay. What tips would you have for somebody who, when they're looking for spots to fly? So what do you normally look for?
I look for...
I can see you've got all you're ready to do some work.
Ready to do some
Ready
work.
to rock and roll. Yeah, so what do you look for when you're looking for spots?
I look for some tree coverage, some nice big fat trees, and you know, just a bit... Oh, that's right, something for Trev to be attracted to. So yeah, just nothing too dense, nothing, just nice spacing with trees.
Too easy. All right.
Edit that out, I sound like a...
No, I'll put that in there. No worries.
What's the word?
Too early in the day?
Too early in the day.
What is the word?
You know, not too dense, not too...
Sparse?
Yeah,
I don't
I guess.
even know.
I don't know what I'm trying to say, mate. Is that a stringy bark tree?
That one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a cool about tree, mate.
cooler
Are there
bar.
any stringies around here? Point one out to me so I know. Yeah. I've been told they're good for the bees. They pacify it. I'm using pine needles at the moment and they do a good job, but I reckon that...
Are you talking about your beehive keeping?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nice.
Don't put any of that on.
This is the breakfast of champions. What do we got?
Rooster roll.
Rooster roll from where? Let's do a bit of product placement.
Red Rooster.
Okay.
You don't have that in America.
Yeah. Is it good?
Oh, right. Ooh.
Gal's famous 4 words to sum up your rooster roll.
It's not an In-N-Out burger. That's 5 or 6, isn't it?
I don't know. Okay. Let's keep it on quads.